Hello folks and welcome to Monday's edition of Magoo Sports News. I am as always Magoo, and guess what folks, it's the 1st of August today, which means that we're coming out of the summer months and into those winter months where there's lots of sport on. Don't forget to say White Rabbits, and let's have a look at what sporting action's been going on over the weekend. So folks, it was a great weekend of sport and I enjoyed the shit out of it if I don't say so myself. First and foremost, let's get into the football. The SPL, second weekend for the SPL and another disappointing week for Inverness Caledonian Thistle. We basically gave away a 1-point draw by conceding a goal in the 93rd minute. Absolutely disgraceful. However, I'm not as disappointed as I was last week because apparently we played really well. I haven't seen the highlights yet, but Terry Butcher came out and said he's not worried because we controlled the whole game. Only thing we couldn't do was get the ball in the back of the net, but that will come as long as you're playing good football and making chances, which we did apparently. We did have 6 new players start the game, so it's going to take them time to gel. Terry Butcher said they're not all 100% fit, so with time they'll get fit. We'll start scoring goals and we'll move up the table. So other results were Dundee United had a great result against Hearts, away from home as well, so Hearts are one of the stronger teams in the league. It's a great result for Dundee United there. Rangers beat St Johnstone 2-0, Ali McCoist's first victory, so he really needed to get that under his belt to release a bit of the pressure on him. And Aberdeen got beaten by St Mirren. Bad result for Aberdeen. They could be going the way down. Celtic obviously weren't playing because they were in the Dublin Super Cup. So into the Emirates Cup, and it was a bad weekend for Arsenal. Basically 2-0 up against Boca Juniors, looking pretty good. Gervinho was on fire, but then they conceded 2 goals. And it's the same old story for Arsenal. Awful defence, with likes of Squillaci in there. Koscielny's he's good, but he's not up to the task. Vermaelen still maybe not up to 100% full fitness. So they drew 2-2, and then on the Sunday they drew all with Red Bulls. Again, they were 1-0 up, but conceded a goal. So a bit of pressure on Arsene Wenger. Everybody knows he needs to sign more players if he's going to have a chance at winning the league. I honestly think there's no chance of Arsenal winning the league this year. Into the Dublin Super Cup, and Manchester City won both their games 3-0. Looking good, but then again, if you spend £5 million on players, then what do you expect? Chelsea did it, so why can't Manchester City? So they could be strong contenders for the Premier League this year. Now, let's have a look. Yes, into the Under-20s World Cup. England, like I said, are in there. First game was against North Korea over the weekend, and it was a disappointing 0-0 draw. Bit of a shame really, apparently had loads of chances all over them, but just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. Bit like Inverness. So anyway, what else? World Cup qualifying draw was made. To be honest, I'm not really going to talk about this because I don't really care. It's a FIFA organised event. If you want to look it up, go ahead, but I don't care. So, moving on. Into the Rugby League, and it was back to Super League action, and what a weekend we had. Castleford unfortunately couldn't take advantage of their great win against Huddersfield last weekend. They got beaten by St Helens 46-26. Now, this was a game that had pretty much everything. St Helens came out all guns firing. Castleford had a guy Sinbind, Rangi Chase, who's their best player by the way. So they went 18-0 up St Helens. Castleford came back, pretty much got it level scores, but then second half St Helens came out and ran away with it. Other results worth mentioning are Leeds beat Salford 30-22, and Huddersfield beat Hull KR 46-26. So what this means now is that Castleford realistically are in a battle for that playoff place. To stay in the playoffs, they need to win the last sort of 2 or 4 games maybe. And Leeds pretty much have secured their playoff place with that win. Maybe another win or 2 and they'll get into the playoffs. Playoff time in the Super League is great, folks. Keep an eye out for it. I'll explain what happens when the playoffs come about. Now into the cricket, and a bizarre event. First 3 days of the second test against India, and what happened is that England have mustered up a 374-minute lead. The controversy was Ian Bell. He was on 130 odd at the time. Owen Morgan was on the other side at the crease, hitting the ball. He smacks the ball towards the rope, the boundary for 4. Indian guy running to stop the ball, dives down, stops the ball. This was a bizarre event. He gets up after falling down. He stopped the ball from hitting the rope, which means the ball's still in play. But he gets up as if, oh, it's not hit the ropes or anything, you know, just casually throws it back. So the England guy, Ian Bell, thinks the ball has gone for 4. Walks down the other end of the pitch, taps gloves with the other guy, and they walk off for tea. Now, the Indian guys obviously threw the ball up and knocked the bails off. So, you know, they're kind of going, oh, referee, review it for us, please. So they reviewed it, Ian Bell out. Crowd are going mental, saying, why? In the rule of the game, or the laws of the game, he was out. And anyway, they had a discussion during tea, and they said, well, in the spirit of the game, we won't put him out. I disagree with this. I honestly think, spirit of the game, my arse. He's out. The guy's banging shots everywhere. He's getting a huge score. Any chance they'll get him out? Get him out. I mean, come on, this is war. This is a game of cricket. This isn't some knock around on a Sunday league afternoon. I mean, I don't totally disagree with him being reinstated. He should have been out. It was his own stupid fault. You always make sure that you're in, even if some player pretends that the ball has gone out. That's the last I'll say on the matter. So, into the Formula 1. What a great race at the Hungaro Ring. Basically, Jenson Button took the title. He's only ever won the only time there's ever been rain at the Hungaro Ring, Jenson Button has won it. Basically, it was a rain-affected race, which basically meant people swapped around, came in for tyres, wets, dries. After all the madness unfolded, Jenson Button came out with the win. Vettel took 2nd place, Alonso 3rd and Hamilton 4th. Now, like I say, tyre strategy was the essential thing with this race, which is why Jenson Button won. Now, one interesting statistic that I'll have to say, Sebastian Vettel has finished either 1st or 2nd in every race this season except for one. This guy's going to walk the championship, as we all know. So, into the golf, and basically Simon Dyson won the Irish Open on the European Tour. Great final round to take it. So, and in the US PGA, Scott Stallings won the Grenbrier Classic after a playoff. One funny story about this fella: he was 4 shots over after his first 9. Came out, shot 5 under, 2nd 9. On the 18th hole, he hit the ball so close to the hole, putted for a birdie, then went to a playoff, same hole, 18th, and he hit an identical shot. Got a birdie, wins it. Great stuff. Into the Tri-Nations as well. New Zealand beat South Africa 40-7. Now, basically, it was a hammering for South Africa. But like I said, South Africa only took a 2nd string squad because they don't want to tire the players out for the World Cup. What's interesting now is South Africa will have 2 home games, and we'll see how they do against New Zealand and Australia, who will take a 2nd string team to them. And that's basically what happened at the weekend. So, great weekend of sport. I enjoyed it. Let's move on. So what we got coming up, folks, this week? Not a hell of a lot, same as last week pretty much. We've got the Champions League qualifiers. Rangers have to turn around their deficit of 1-0 against Malmo. That's on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday night, Europa League qualifiers. Hearts versus Pax in Edinburgh. Hajduk Split versus Stoke. And Fulham versus RNK Split. Close games, all 3 of them. It's going to be good. Watch out for that. Now, in the golf, I have to mention this. It's the WGC Bridgestone International. It's one of the top events outside of the majors. All the big players are playing. Tiger Woods is back. It's going to be good to see how he plays. I honestly think he'll flop. He might even miss the cut, so we can all laugh at him. But all the top players are there, like Rory McIlroy, Darren Clarke, all the major winners. So watch out for that one as well. And unfortunately, guys, that's pretty much all the sport we've got this week, unless you can think of something else. So yeah. So folks, just want to quickly mention the fantasy football. We've got a couple of new guys in. Check it out. Somebody finally put an Inverness team in there. Anybody else that watches the show, please sign up for it. It's going to be a great year. You've only got 2 weeks left, because this weekend, obviously, the Community Shield. The weekend after is the start of the Premiership, so you've got to get your team in before the start so you don't lose out on a week's worth of points. Go on, guys. So folks, that's all for this week. Great weekend of sport. I'm looking forward to what little sport we have got on this week. The football season is kicking in again. You've got that feeling in you. It's going to be a great football season. I can't wait. See you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Cheers.